Hi, everyone. My name is Matt Haynes. I'm an audiobook narrator, and this is part of my ongoing series of studying accents and voice types. Basically, what I am dedicated to doing is learning enough about an accent so that if I have a character in one of my books that speaks with that accent, the author has noted that there's a very distinct way they speak and it's attributed to this, then I can approach it with some consistency and some strength as opposed to just going completely random or going with a really, really broad stereotype. Basically, try to find those elements that seem to carry it through or can get me started on it. And then perhaps I've got a foundation from which to improve. By the way, these videos, please put in the comments your input if you've got a specific insight for this accent, because that's ultimately what would be great for this series. Have I start it, and then you either knock it down with a specific correction, specific again, or you add to it and see how we can make the knowledge even stronger. So, what we're going to do for this particular mini series of videos is Armenian. I was looking up what some producers are looking for, and it is the ability to do an Armenian accent. Well, okay. So after listening to some samples, and both in the Armenian language and with Armenians speaking English, here's some starting ideas that I am working with. First of all, that the rhythm and the pacing is very, very precise, very elegant, and very consonant heavy. So, to be or not to be, that is the question. They would do a theater person proud with the diction, articulation, enunciation. To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by thus opposing end them. That's what I'm hearing. Just a very tick 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 tick. Um, just beautiful. Let's see. We also have, in terms of the general tone, rather than the typical American or general American, which is what I'm speaking, da 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 da. So for example, if I was to say, I don't know what you're talking about, if I was to really get into it, I don't know what you're talking about. So da 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 da. What I'm hearing in Armenian, both when the native language is being said and also when English is being said with the accent, is a much more consistent tone that then drops off, or a rise, 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 and then drops off. So I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. That's what I'm hearing so far. I'm also hearing a sometimes arise, 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 arise when somebody is saying something. So to be or not to be, that is the question, whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune. Now, I am curious though, for you commenters, um, is this a common thing with Armenian, or is it also a masculine feminine thing? For example, there's a habit in the United States for women speaking in a general American accent to rise in their sentences, like they're asking a question, even though that is typically not something that they're doing because the sentence ends in a period. Some people get really, really irritated by that, but it is a habit. It's generally attributed to women in the general American accent. Is this also true for Armenian women versus Armenian men? Do Armenian women tend to go up, 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 up? Or is it does it know no gender identification? That's something I'm curious about. Okay, so we've got the tones, we've got the consonants. Now we're going to go to some vowel changes and some consonant changes. What I'm hearing in Armenian is the O and A are reversed. So go off, which I would do in my general American, becomes go off. E and I, the long E and the short I, are also reversed. So keep it would be keep it. Ng, at the end of a word, it gets a K, something. Ah becomes aw, so I'm hearing magnets become magnets. I'm hearing an become on. So there's an angle, on angle, on angle. AR becomes OR, so our becomes or. This is our house, our house. The as in foot becomes an U, foot. And let's see. Ah, yes. One thing that I really, really like is the I taking on almost like a Scottish I. This is my interview with this person. My guest today is. Let's do some other quick ones. I am hearing with the ER sound, never the doesn't get dropped into a sort of like I do in General American, it becomes an air, never. And the R. Okay, so here are some things that I want to get to next time that I could use your feedback on. So the R, is it thrilled or does it tend to be fairly static? That's one thing I'm wondering. Also, let's see. Song lyrics. How about that? I tend to apply accents to song lyrics. And when I do so, I usually like to pick a song that brings the accent into a whole new sort of way of thinking about it, or a whole new way of thinking about the meaning of the song. Sometimes I like to do it in a way that's kind of cheeky. So, for example, having the contemporary British RP be "Sweet Home Alabama," I like to be cheeky that way. Other times, I really like to just see what an accent brings out of lyrics. For example, with Persian Farsi, I had Aerosmith's. Dream On, and that I thought that actually went pretty well and was pretty surprising. What song do you think would go well with the Armenian accent? All right, those are my observations, a few of my questions, and I leave it to you folks who have expertise in the accent to put in the comments what you think. In the meantime, thank you for joining me. And as your narrator, I hope that my voice and your ears meet again real soon.